Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Lancescurv Show. Of course, we are going to have another riveting conversation, laid back. We're going to go deep in on human nature. Dysfunctions are at an all-time high in our society, and that can cover so many different things. I don't know what the blame would be. People would say social media, but we have to go a bit deeper than that. There's so many different aspects of dysfunctions. And of course, you all know that I love human nature. We have our guest here, and I'll just say, this is Navaya.
That's right. Novaya. I'm back.
Yes, just get you a little closer to that mic so we can hear you.
Well,
Or you can hold it, you can bring it down or hold it close to you. Yeah, that's better.
I
That's
was
better.
like, hello, I am Novaya. Yes, I think the biggest dysfunction in 2025 right now is communication.
Hmm.
Communication is in every way mutilated.
I never heard it mentioned like that. Mutilated.
Yes.
Why mutilated? Tell me.
Well, um, okay, let's go ahead. Well, there's quite a few ways that I could explain this. So, let's say that in the dating aspect in 2025, um, when you meet someone, whether it be organic or online, which I gave up on online dating years ago, but it has to be organic for me. So when you meet someone organically, sometimes communication can be off. People are not straight to the point. I think at a certain age, you should be straight to the point. What happens is the individuals tend to, if they're having a problem, they tend to just disappear or they shut down and not communicate their issues. And then they decide to reappear as if nothing ever happened
Oh, wow.
and want to try to
What's that all about?
well, that's a good question. I have no idea because that seems to happen, and I hear that a lot from a lot of women um, that people just tend to ghost, and then
Hmm.
they reappear about a month later, and they're like, "Hey."
Wow.
So, in my thought process, I believe that these individuals are looking for Beyonce and her money. And then when they realize things go south and they're not getting her money, then they decide, oh my goodness, let me go back and check on such and such and see how she's doing. And
Wow.
they just reappear.
So, do you think this has been happening before social media, or like this has increased during social
It
media
has
time?
totally increased during social media because social media gives you the, I think, unrealistic perspective of how individuals should look, how individuals should act, and just certain behaviors that are totally unrealistic. Social media gives you this image, especially for women, should be like Cinderella, to where
Mhm.
that Prince Charming is coming with your glass slipper.
But wait a second, though. I mean, I understand the ghosting part, especially with innocent women, women who have good intentions. But could there be an aspect of it where many men have been burnt by women who just want them for their money or just want them for a short period of time and kind of leapfrog or monkey branch is what they call it, like when they jump from one to the other? Like they'll always have a man on the side on deck, and they'll have a guy they're dealing with, and they'll have somebody they're talking to. And a lot of these guys are catching on to that. Could that also be an aspect? I mean, I know the original what you said is, but this is getting to be how could I put it, especially in the dating scene, circumstantial, transactional. Let me, if I can't get something from you, you're not going to get something from me type thing.
And I think it goes both ways
Mm-hmm.
because you have very successful women, which I know plenty of them, that are going through the same exact thing which you just said.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had individuals say, well, how about you take care of me?
Mm-hmm.
I take care of the house and clean and cook and do everything. Um, and
This is a man saying this to the woman.
yes, that's correct.
So they want to sit home and do nothing.
Because they're saying that for many years, men had to take care of women, and now it's time for women to take care of men. And in my thought process, I'm not taking care of you. I'm sorry. Doesn't work that way for me. I don't care how much money I make. I don't care if you're out picking up cans and bottles and making some money. You're going to be making some
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
because I'm not having you sit at home.
But a
And
man should want to do, even if you make more, that shouldn't stop his engine from wanting to rev. You know what I mean?
exactly,
That doesn't
exactly.
change anything.
Yeah,
He's still the protector.
right.
He's still a provider, even if he's not making this. That should not change. That DNA should not change in his head. But you have a lot of guys who scheme. Okay, I could lay up on. I can get this from her, and I could. And they offer this like it's a plus.
Hmm.
Like you couldn't pay for somebody to come and do housekeeping and whatever.
Exactly.
So how could you? Let's just be blunt. How could you lay in the bed with a man and feel like he's a man when that's what he's doing? Of course, if he gets an injury, he's working, he's doing good. In a couple of months, he might be out, and you know what his heart is, and he has money coming in. But to just offer that, again, this is wrong with that.
There's definitely something wrong
I'm
with that.
emasculated. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm
There's
sorry.
definitely something wrong with that because honestly, and I've been accused of um, men saying that I'm treating them as if they're a bitch, or or I'm too strong for them. And I'm like, okay, well, number one, those words wouldn't even come out of a real man's mouth because if you're a man, you're not gonna feel like a bitch.
Right. Nothing can make you feel that way. If
Nothing can make you feel that way.
so, they're telling
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I have to feel like the dude in the relationship to where, you know, I have to take care of everything, then there's a problem.
Because you're not going to want to go the full way.
Hmm.
You can't see. It's not just about sex, but how could you look at this man as a man and look up to him
You can't.
when he's gutted?
You
He's
can't.
coming to you telling you this.
Exactly. You can't, you know. And then my thing is, okay, I already feel like my paycheck is just enough for me.
Right.
I can't imagine taking my paycheck and then taking care of a grown man also because it just doesn't seem like it's sufficient enough
Right.
for two people. So that man would definitely have to do more than bringing in a disability check or social security.
Mhm.
um you know, unless that individual already had a home that's paid for, a car that's paid for, you know, certain things. Okay, if you're bringing in a social security check or uh, what do you call it? The VA
Yeah.
checks or
Veteran. Yeah.
veterans check. Okay, then maybe that would work. But if you have nothing but a pot to piss in, there is absolutely nothing that I can do for that individual.
Mhm. You're going to get a lot of people who are wired that way that are going to be angry when they hear this, either live or after, like because you're a big target that way. I won't say anymore, but you're a target, and they're going to want to, it busts their bubble. It
Hmm.
busts their bubble big time, and they there are a lot of men who think that way. I just want to welcome in Sweet Berry, Sister Queen Diane, Les, yes, from good old Texas, and we're here. I had some electrical issues the last 2 days with the guys that are working here, and they were had heavy equipment and they kept knocking things out. So that's why I didn't do anything. But we're gonna double up and make up some things. And we have a great guest here, so we're gonna go deep, dig deep now. And if there's anything that you want to say or focus on, or any questions to ask about this topic, just feel free to shoot it in the chat room here, because I'm right here looking at what you're putting out there. But welcome on in for those who are here. Yeah. So, wow.
So the dysfunction, I mean, that's to me one of the biggest dysfunctions in 2025 is where are the real men at? And then where are the women that are not desperate for a man and wanting that man to take care of them as well? So I think it's a two-way street.
Well, speak on it from the woman's side. What you just meant, the flip side of all of that.
Well, I understand it depends on the woman, because see, for me personally, I can buy myself food, I can buy myself clothes, because I've put myself in that situation to where independently I'm good. So if you want to take me out to $300 dinner and you have a problem with that, guess what? I know how to pay for half.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Right. So you have no problem with that.
But I guarantee if I pay half of that bill, that would be the only date, that first and last date that we have.
So what are your personal bulleted points? Doesn't have to be 10, but like you just said, with that as a rule, what are some other things that are deal breakers that you won't move forward with earlier on in a
Oh my goodness, that's like easy. I mean, I have the recent dates. I had a man that could not stop vaping. I mean, he kept wanting to smoke that dang weed vape pipe, and I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between a cigarette vape or a weed vape. I have no idea, but that's a deal breaker for me. Alcohol, to excessive alcohol drinking, that's a deal breaker for me, because it's a problem. Alcohol is one of the biggest drugs around, and the withdrawal from alcohol is severe. And so, I personally cannot deal with an alcoholic. I'd say the third deal breaker is unhealthy, being unhealthy men, because an unhealthy man, or a man that refuses to go to the doctor and get even his annual checkup, that's a problem, because things start to happen. High blood pressure, diabetes, all these things start to pop up. And it's important that you go to the doctor and check up. And I've heard quite a few, unfortunately, Black men say, "Oh, well, I'm not taking no white man's medicine," or they're in denial because they have erectile dysfunction, or they have severe headaches, or numbness and tingling in their feet, all types of issues that start popping up, and then they're in denial, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not that. It's not that. I'm just nervous." That's why the erectile dysfunction is there. They come up with everything in the book besides wanting to just go check your blood pressure, take your blood pressure medication, and make it simple for you, so that way you can still have a love life. Because once that penis stops working,
Feel like it is. You don't have to hold back.
I don't know what it's like to have a penis, because I wasn't born with one. But I do know that once that penis stops working, a man feels absolutely useless. Okay. And they're going to have way more to offer than their mouth and their hands, you know. So I would say that's a big issue, taking care of yourself. It to me is not all about the financial aspect of things, because that would be another thing. But rephrase that. But if you are a successful woman and then you decide to give a man that is just on disability and he's only making $2,000 a month, and you are that woman that likes the finer dining every now and then, you want to go to Ruth Chris or one of those nice steakhouses and have a you and him $150 meal or $200, and he's only on making $2,000 a month, and he's got other obligations. There's no way you can date someone like that because he can't afford you. So, and the reality is that I know that a lot of men call women gold diggers. Okay. If a woman has money, she's not a gold digger. She just has certain standards. She's has certain levels of things that she likes. She may okay, she does not gonna want to go to McDonald's. That's just a given. Not wanting to go there, but she's gonna want that is on a certain level. Okay, a certain level of class. Okay. So you can't think it's okay to just take her to McDonald's. If that's the case, then you just won't have a woman, not a woman of class. Okay. And just like these men that claim to be high dollar men, um, high dollar, what? High dollar, what? Financially? Um,
High
because,
value, you mean the term they call high
well,
value.
high value, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. They want to go ahead and throw women in a category and say, oh, well, well, what do you rate yourself as, a 10, a 5, a 1? What do you rate yourself as? And okay, even if I said, well, I'm a 5, um, a lot of these men that you look at, they are not even a 2. So, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, you gonna
so,
get it. You gonna
and
get it.
that's
You
the
gonna get
truth.
it.
I don't care if
But
they
tell it.
make 6 figures. I make 6 figures. And so, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm, a 10. No, I'm not a 10. But I'm just saying that, you know, the ones that want to throw us women that make decent money and do certain things for a living that are lucrative. They want to throw us in a basket as being just these little monsters, but then you see these guys, and then they're looking like Oompa Loompa, and it's just like, okay, so what makes you a 10 besides making money?
Right.
You know,
Most think that money is going to cover everything.
no.
Like I have money, so that covers everything. That covers the fact that I look like I'm in my third trimester.
Hmm.
You know, the health, the conversation, the experiences, the mindset. That's very important. Also, of course, you have to have the money, but it's being cultured. I remember back in the day, there were more men. It seems like there were more men that had their heads on straight. We had knuckleheads, we had whatever, but a man who came out dressed,
Hmm.
groomed.
That's right.
He carried himself a certain way to the point where women were like, wow. Like,
Hmm.
and he wasn't hawking them. He wasn't like going after, hey, girl,
Hmm.
no, none of that. Just carried himself with such respect that women would look and say, who is that guy?
Exactly. Hmm.
I know a man, let me just say real quick. I know a man, he used to call him because he was an old guy. And we used to call call them the 1930s, man. This is back in the late 70s, right? This guy, of course, he was retired. He was older. His mustache was groomed. He had the different hat on, different outfit. He was groomed. He held the doors for the women. He didn't turn around in the street to look at their backside. And he was always invited to things and carried himself a certain way, and it was always a plus. And we had younger guys like that. But it seems like it's a game now.
Right.
It's a game to let me get between your legs. Let me. It's not even. It's a power thing with them. Is it the insecurities that they have, or And then when they get that, that's it. They're done.
Well, I will be really, really straight up with you. Okay, so I remember at one point meeting an individual was extremely unattractive. I mean, when I say unattractive, like his face had been peeled down because he had a very large tumor at one time. The face was, so he had like a deformity on one side of his face. He looked like he had a stroke, but he didn't. But he had facial droop. He was kind of drooling, drooling, and then his eye would leak. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, he's a nice guy. Let me go ahead and give him a chance because he's not attractive, but he's very intelligent. He wasn't like financially wealthy, but he was okay. And so I was like, let me just go ahead and give this individual a chance. Well, at the time, the individual was working on his doctorate. And so once he got his doctorate, and when I gave him my professional opinion on certain things, because I've been doing the type of work that I've been doing for almost about 30 years now.
Right.
So I'm not just talking.
So wait a second. How you've been in this business for 30 years?
Yes.
But you're 25. 5 years before you came out of the womb, you were doing this business.
Thank you. But once he got his doctorate, he says, you know what? I refuse to speak with you about anything unless it is on a doctorate level. So in other words, he was saying that my information was not valid unless I was on a doctorate level. So in that case, okay, so now that you've got your doctorate, I'm not even
good enough anymore.
Good enough to even conversate with you. As ugly as he was.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He just got this big head and got all boosted up thinking, oh, well, I'm on the doctorate level. And so it was very easy for me to let him go on his way because he was very unattractive anyway. But I just see that a lot of times when you give individuals that are extremely unattractive, you boost their head up, make them feel so special, and then all of a sudden, if you've boosted them up too much, or if they've gotten this education, or they're making X amount of money, then guess what? They think they're too good for you, and that's what happens.
Wow. The nerve.
Yes, the nerve. Yes, the nerve. Because it's like, so I don't really, it doesn't matter whether the person is very attractive or unattractive. I think a lot of times women, we can settle for a man that has, that's 300 pounds. But then it's very difficult for a man to flip and get with us if we're 300 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very rare. I mean, you may find some men that find a big girl,
right?
What they like.
But again, that shouldn't be just the one thing on the whole list of criteria. It shouldn't be. Not to sound corny, and I'm not being nice because you're sitting here, but you know me as a person, and that if you're committed to someone, it's so much more than just that. If there's a health issue, yes, I want you to, work on yourself and improve yourself.
That's right.
But if you love someone, you're committed to them, it doesn't matter. You
Mhm.
hold their hand and walk down the street just as proud, because it's not just about the body. The body is just a piece of clay. You can change that. Look at the person on the inside. Look how many guys get these so-called perfect airbrush looking BBO wearing,
Mhm.
fake breasts, the Botox, the this, the that, whatever,
Mhm.
and they don't even know that person. That person may not even be into them at
Mhm.
all, but they
Right.
feel good walking down the street because it's like a piece of meat. They're a trophy. It's
Right.
just a piece of flesh.
Mhm.
That's what that is.
Right.
But there are a lot of good women out here. There are a lot of good women out here.
There are a good out there.
Mhm.
So many good women, but there are a lot of good men as well. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of it too at one point, is that we tend to like the bad boys.
What is that all about? When you know that they're the bad boy, is it
Mm,
because they may have a aura of hyper masculinity and it's a rush, or maybe the element of not outright danger where you're going to get in a
mm.
shootout, but just he's the guy that, if somebody says something wrong to you, he might almost punch the guy. What is it about is this
Well,
something
the bad
tribal, something
boys,
basic, or
the bad boys have the swag. The
Mhm.
bad boys, they just tend to, um, this is what I call it. You remember that show called The Highlander?
Mhm.
Okay, so I consider myself a Highlander.
Mhm.
So basically, when there's a Highlander in the room, and you can sense another Highlander in the room, like you just know that you have that sexual attraction, like you just know that
Mhm.
that person is the same sexual um being, that whole sexual energy that you have.
Mhm.
And that's it. That's that bad boy, and he ain't nothing but trouble,
Right, right.
you
But you
know.
can't, it's so attractive.
Yes, but it's an attraction, you
Mhm.
know. And so to me, that's called the Highlander effect. So there could be 300 people in this room,
Right.
and it's just you, and you lay eyes on that person, and there's the Highlander effect, and you want that person, and you know that person is nothing but trouble.
Whoa.
So and that tends to be what we do,
Hmm.
and then the relationship basically starts out sexually and
Mhm.
not as a friendship.
Yeah, yeah. So with the bad boy, the Highlander,
Hmm.
do you sometimes that he's that and crave him for yourself because all of the things are so good that maybe like he's trouble, but it's like maybe I can change him. Maybe because a lot of younger women feel that way, and when they get a
Anybody
little
over the age 30 should know that they cannot change an individual. And if you are over the age 30 and you think that you can change someone, you are sadly mistaken. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, that is not possible. I mean, once you once you're by the age of 30, you've already set in your ways. You already have
Mhm.
your own little
Mhm.
routines, anything. You know what you like, you know what you want. So how are you going to change an individual after that age? So definitely once you get into your 40s and 50s, you might as well hang it up. I mean, you can't change anybody.
Wow.
Think about it.
That's true, but some people feel that they can, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can possibly make the person certain little things. Like, let's say you live with them, and maybe they can be a cleaner person, or you can teach them how to cook
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
something.
something like that.
But there's
No
no
major
way,
overhaul.
yeah, there's no overhaul. I mean, you have got to know that that person is already established, and there's no way to change that person's
Mhm.
character,
Hmm.
you know.
Younger women who are just coming into the dating landscape, what advice would you give them? Because now it's so much more on the table. Years ago, women didn't have to ask a man if he was ever with a man or likes men. Years ago, the biggest thing was, do you have somebody else? Are you married? So, with all of that being said, the drug use, the psychological issues, a lot of men, and I'm not throwing off on men. You're a woman, so I'm going to talk about the men, right?
Yes.
And it's so much more difficult to navigate now, from what I'm seeing. And younger ladies that I talk to, that I know online, and people that email me and text me and stuff,
Hmm.
and they want to know, like, how do I avoid a lot of trouble? What are the red flags that I look for? How
Well,
can I may get in a messed up situation temporarily, but I don't want to walk blindly. And just, what would you tell them?
okay. Well, as you know, we're in a whole new day. 2025 is very tricky
Yeah.
because, okay, we're not just asking whether you're gay or straight anymore. We're not asking, are you a he, she, her, him, non-binary, whatever. We're not asking all those things anymore.
Mhm.
There's things that are way deeper now, that right now we're even asking people, what political party are you going for? you know so is this are you I mean, are you Democrat, Republican, are you independent, are you liberal? I mean, there's so many factors, and that wasn't even a thing back in the day. Like,
Mhm.
literally, you it was like,
Yeah.
cares, but nowadays, with the political things that are going, you need to know prior to getting into relationships, who are you going for,
Mhm.
and what do you believe? And it's not like before. Okay, are you Baptist, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh Day Adventist?
Mhm.
It's not even that anymore either. So it's not even those types of questions, because right now we even have, since 2020, people
Mhm.
asking, oh, are you vaccinated, are you not vaccinated? I've seen people not date people because they were vaccinated.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's just so many irons in the fire that you have to ask right now
Yeah.
with dating.
And straight up.
Straight
And you
up.
still might not get an honest answer. You still might not. This is a day of double and triple and quadruple lives,
Yeah.
where people can have multiple relationships because of the technology now, the
Hmm.
smartphones.
Hmm.
Some people will settle just for a text message until they can rendezvous. Some people want a little conversation on the phone. You just never know. That
Right.
phone is getting people in trouble, and it's been happening for a very long time.
Hmm.
So it's easy to live this way. Also, it's easy to be titillated
Right.
in certain ways, where you can have somebody who is so locked in with you, but yet you still feel this insecurity that you have to see what's on there.
Hmm.
Let me see. Oh, this girl got a better butt. I want to mess with her. Oh, she got more
Exactly.
money. I want to mess with
Hmm.
her. Oh, this and that.
Hmm.
She'll do
And
this.
that's
And
what I said. They are looking for Beyonce and Beyonce's money.
I don't think Beyonce's all that. I mean,
Well,
everybody has their preference, but I'm just saying, from where I sit, I ask myself, why is the world going so crazy over Beyonce? Why is she the standard?
but this is the image that a lot of individuals are wanting. And so the majority of women in the world are regular people. We don't have that big booty. Little booties matter. I want everyone to
That's a T-shirt.
know.
That's Black Lives Matter. Little booties matter.
you know, and so you have real women, not someone that makes $30 million a year and has this big brown booty that, of course, you know, they can afford the personal trainer and the plastic surgery,
Yeah.
you know.
Take it as it is. It's got to be pure. It's got to be natural. It can't be enhanced, because to me, that's like a woman with, okay, women can do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They can have their dildos if they want, their sex toys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a man getting off on the plastic thing in a woman, there's something wrong with that. To me, the fake breast, the fake butt,
Mm-hmm.
that's, look, get the natural woman. Even if it doesn't look like that, it's real. It's everything is so superficial now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is plastic now. So it's almost like you're not getting an enjoyment from her. It's this image that she's putting out, and it's no different than some type of contact masturbation. What are you thinking about? Are you really into her? Are you into her sexual energy when it comes time for that?
Mm-hmm.
Or you look at this piece of plastic.
Right.
That's what I call it, the butt, the breast, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something wrong with the man if he's, oh man, look at her. And she got something slapped on and get the toothpick legs out of proportion.
Yes.
There's a run,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like track and field or something. I forgot what her name is. I think she's France. And she's real slender, dark brown skin, very slender but shapely.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, little booties matter. She had, but very well shaped. She's an athlete.
Right.
And very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the epitome more. Now, you can be heavy, you can be heavier.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
She's natural.
Yeah.
When she walks with a grace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has the balance and she takes care of herself. But all of this stuff slapped on.
Right.
What's going to happen later on?
Exactly.
And if you're into it like that, when you find the other one who has a little more of that same thing, you're not even concerned to stay where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got something better. I'm going to go. It never ends.
Right.
There's always women coming up the assembly line
It's
with
a
plastic surgery.
ending story.
It never ends. When do you stop?
It's a never ending story, because I believe that people always think that the grass is greener on the other side until they get over there and then they see all the brown patches. You know, so there are flaws in everything that you see. So you can go ahead and get that girl with the big booty and the small waist, and even with the money, and then you get on over there, and guess what? She's something else. She may not be sexual. She may be just not intelligent. She may be terrible with money.
Oh, God.
Okay. She may have a drug problem. She may be an alcoholic.
Mhm.
You know, so so yeah, the grass looks green because she looks beautiful. But then what happens when you get on over to that other side?
That's right. That's right.
You know. So that's what people are not assessing. Feel that, you know, because I tend to assess every individual, but also, you know, I was into the mental health realm for quite a few years,
Mhm.
and so I assess people, and you have to, unfortunately, in this day and age, because mental health is huge, and you'll see that um, it's bigger than what people know. I mean, there's bipolar disorder, there's schizophrenia,
Mhm.
there is major depression, there's mania, um,
Mhm.
there's all types of disorders.
Break it down. And there's some people walking around, right, that you'd never know.
Yes,
Mm.
you know, and I tell you, I met a man a few years back that um, he was actually a patient of mine,
Mhm.
and this man was absolutely gorgeous. He was like 6'6" and green eyes, and I mean, it had this olive skin, and was just absolutely gorgeous. And I was like, if I saw this man on the street, that would be my type,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
And but anyway, because he was a patient of mine,
Hmm.
it was like he had a huge tattoo on his chest,
Really?
and the tattoo was a picture of Tupac Shakur.
Wow.
And he thought that Tupac was hanging out with him. Yeah. For a whole year, him and Tupac did everything. I mean, they were doing everything
That's
together.
crazy.
They were running the streets. He thought Tupac was real on his chest. And but basically, once he got mental health and
Hmm.
got enough the right medications and everything, then he said to me, he says, well, what am I going to do with Tupac now? And I just told him, I said, why don't you just turn him into Black Jesus? Because you know, because
So he, at this point, realized that he was
he
delusional
was delusional.
and that, okay.
Yeah. But imagine, my whole point in saying this is, you find this gorgeous man and you think, oh, he must be perfect.
Right.
And then you get with this individual, and the same thing happens for men with women,
Yes.
because I've
Yes,
heard a
indeed.
lot of men say, that they've gotten with these beautiful women, and then all of a sudden a woman is psychotic and trying to burn down their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
I've heard a lot of
so,
stories.
but that's my whole point, is you get with this individual because you think that they are gorgeous,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden mentally they are unstable.
Mm.
Yes.
And some of them hide it so well.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and not that they're hiding it. A lot of people do not hide mental instability because they don't know that they are mentally unstable.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
so yeah, so I just think that you have to really assess the individuals that you are trying to become involved with,
Right.
because I think everyone has a dysfunction. In
Yeah.
one way or another, everyone has a dysfunction.
Hmm. You're
Yes.
right about that. I believe that. I know I have mine.
Oh, I have mine too.
It's better
Oh
to know
yeah.
them.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah. And I admit to it. I can straight up tell someone what my dysfunctions are.
Right.
Okay. But when you get with an individual and they're not straight up with you about dysfunctions,
Hmm.
then that's where the problem lies.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to Gem Store Goddess. Yes, yes, the bus days were the good old days. Yes, indeed. But mental illness, if we could segue into that,
Mm-hmm.
it seems that that's increasing also. Is this because of the pressure or expectations placed on us, or just feeling like we can't keep up? I feel a lot. I hear a lot of people speak about that, especially in the United States. That just like that documentary I was sharing with you, how it doesn't seem like they can keep up, and the cost of living and all these different things is just so much for them. And where does this come from? It's always been there, but it just seems like it's more and more.
Well, are we paying attention more
Let
and
me
more?
tilt that to point at you like a shotgun. Yeah,
Are
there you
we
go.
paying attention more and more?
Hmm.
Because, okay, everyone can say
Hmm.
that you went to school with someone that was very different,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I know I had some classmates that were very, very different. And you were like, oh, Jimmy was just real hyper, or
Hmm.
Jimmy would just sit there and destroy things, or Jimmy was always in trouble by the school
But years
teacher.
later, when you
Yeah. And then years later, as you get older, then you realize, oh, that's what was wrong with Jimmy.
hmm
Like he was special, but you didn't know that he
Right.
was bipolar
Right.
or whatever they want to call this with ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or maybe autistic in
Mm-hmm.
some way,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, because they just had us all together in the classroom.
Yeah.
But we knew something was wrong with Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just didn't have a name for it. You know what I'm saying? And then as you become adults, um, that's when you realize, "Ooh, this person is socially awkward."
Mhm.
And as far as being in a relationship with this individual, there is no way
Yeah.
I can be in a
Right.
relationship with that
But they're not
individual.
developed enough to be in a relationship. They can't
Mhm,
get beyond themselves because they haven't developed themselves to be able to relate to
mhm,
somebody else. You
mhm.
know,
Right,
you just
right.
can't be. It's like pulling your favorite meal, like I said before, out of the oven. It's supposed
Mhm,
to be in there for an hour, but you pull
mhm,
it out after 10 minutes. It's
mhm,
like, okay, it may look like it can work. Once you delve a little deeper and you see what they're all about, because I've known some extremely dysfunctional people.
mhm.
And that's why I'm so fascinated with human nature, because on the outside it looks one way, but I've known whole dysfunctional families. I
Mhm.
dated somebody as a teenager, and the whole family was off.
Right,
I mean, really bad.
right.
They were the real monsters, and I'm
Yes.
not just saying by the way they look.
Mhm,
And the sexual molestation and
mhm,
the religious whole thing. A mother
mhm,
was so into the Bible, she didn't want to see what was going on in the house.
mhm,
The husband was going through the children, male and female, except for two, and
mhm.
had an uncle. You know, my old girlfriend had an uncle that used to always try to look up her dress and just like, what is that? And as a father, you're laughing.
Mhm.
You have a developmentally delayed son, and you're molesting him too.
Well, if you think about it and you do go into the studies, that the majority of people that have been molested or sexually abused
Mm-hmm.
were by family members. And it's always an uncle, brother,
Mm-hmm.
cousin, or even the babysitter that came in.
Mm-hmm.
That For a lot of males, it's the teenage babysitter that did something to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that is normally the person that is trusted with your children that is touching them and doing different things to them. And with my experience,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you have an individual that is hypersexual
Mm-hmm.
or they convert to say, okay, I don't like it. Like if I'm a woman that's been violated at a young
Mm-hmm.
age, a lot of times either I'm going to become hypersexual or I will become lesbian,
Yeah,
and I want to be with women
I've seen
because
that.
I no longer trust men. So that's a happens in the young age. And then when it comes to men,
Mm-hmm.
a young boy, if a young boy has been violated at a young age, um, same thing. Either they
Mm-hmm.
become hypersexual with the females or they become very sometimes feminized
Mm-hmm.
and then they would like to be with men.
I've seen all of
So
that. Yeah.
and a lot of them are the ones that can teach me how to be a woman because
Mm-hmm.
they can do a split better than I can. Um, I'm not speaking against it, but I'm just saying that that's what happens when you've been violated as a young child,
Yeah.
and that's what happens with the male or the females. And and then we all are trying to ourselves, where do we belong?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if the male is feminized and then he doesn't like that he's a male and then he wants to get a sex change and or become a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that have done that. Um, and then, or a female that decides that they want to become a male.
Yeah.
Um, but then what you have to realize too in the mental health world is that a lot of those people are going through a lot mentally,
Mhm.
a lot of mental illness because um, they're depressed. They don't know where they belong in the world, to
Mhm.
where, okay, am I male? Am I female? Should I become a male? And
Mhm.
then as far as the men, should I become a female? Which that's a big process. Taking hormones and testosterone
That's
and
true.
removing parts that you were born with and trying to transition, it's a very expensive process.
Yeah.
And so it messes with the psyche, it messes with the mentality of who you are.
And then many, I could give you a percentage or statistics, but many go through that whole process and wish they can reverse it, you know?
Yeah.
And just like what's his name? The basketball player, Dwayne Wade,
Hmm.
and his son, who he's encouraging this from such a young age
Hmm.
to transition.
Hmm.
Well, I think something is a little cuckoo with Dwayne Wade. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Um, because he is something going on with his identity as a man or as whatever else he wants to be. But is that a bit young to encourage? A lot of youngsters are going through saying this in their head because it's offered to them. They see it on social media. They see this little, it could be a phase or something, but they're so encouraged to move forward with this thing.
It's definitely
Hmm.
too young to encourage a child to say um, that you don't know where you are in the world, or you don't know if you're male or female. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think that if a lot of us can go back and think about when you were like 6 years old. I know I remember those days,
Hmm.
and even at that time, I remember a little girl that I used to play with on the street,
Hmm.
um, and she kissed me on the lips. She
Hmm.
kissed me on the lips, and at that time, I wasn't really sure. I was
Right,
like,
right.
"Well, wait a second, wait a second. Is this normal or not?"
Right, right.
And I'll never forget that kiss that that little girl gave me on the
Wow.
lips, and just uh, the feeling of,
Right,
am I supposed to be kissing a girl,
right, right,
or
right.
am I supposed to be kissing a boy?
Right.
But I realized quickly that I liked boys.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So and I will say that, I'm very open. I'm very open with the violations that I incurred in my life,
Mhm.
and at a young age, the molestation, the rape,
Mhm.
a lot that happened to me as a
Mhm.
youngster.
Mhm.
But I um, was, thank goodness, due to spirituality and just believing in God,
Right.
that I believe helped me through it, and to where I did not convert
Mhm.
to feel that I needed to be with a woman, or
Mhm.
I did at one time in my younger years become
Mhm.
very promiscuous,
Mhm.
and that is something that does happen.
Yeah.
But then as time goes by, and with the help of God and
Mhm.
also therapy,
Right.
it cooled me off
Mhm.
completely. It cooled me off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad you said it that way so people who are going through certain things younger can see that, they're not, there's a lot of guilt when something happens to you, and maybe some people internalize that and feel like it's their fault, especially say, for example, household where maybe it's strict, religious,
Mhm.
and they don't feel like they can come forward with something, especially if it's a family member or somebody that they know that don't want to get them in trouble because they're going to look at you like you're the troublemaker,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to know that they're not wrong when something happens to them. They're not the reason why. A lot of times they internalize it for such a long time and it compounds. Like you said, either you shut down or you get promiscuous. Either
Mm-hmm.
you go into the same, you know, thing with, you know, you want to be a lesbian or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I had an older cousin, a female, when I was 5 years old, having me do her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was wrong.
Yeah.
But it affected me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, it affected me, and I went the promiscuous route too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people saw, older women saw something in me, and I getting into bodybuilding now and everything, and so they're like, church women too. I mean, they see something in you. And the way I explain it is like when you have a bunch of old guys sitting at somebody's house, you know, and they're playing cards on a Sunday, and one of the young nieces walks through. The young niece might be 14 or 15, and one of the older guys, hey, she gonna be a heartbreaker. She got them pretty legs, and that's so inappropriate. What are you looking at her like that for?
Yeah. And that's what
It's
happens.
crazy.
That's what happens because I remember at a young age, my mother's cousins looking at me like that, and one of them saying, "Oh, I just love the way you walk," and I was probably about 13 years old, you know, and the way they look at you, you know. So that's why I say, you know, even with my own children, I protected them from that.
Yeah.
And I was not allowing them to be around no cousins or uncles in that way.
That's right.
Because those are the first people to violate you.
And it doesn't take any time. Things
Right.
can happen quick as soon as you turn your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not just little girls you need to watch out for. You need to look out for little boys too, because the people nowadays will definitely violate your sons.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So you have to really be careful, you know, who your children are around, even if it's a family member.
Yeah, certain things are not going to happen. You cannot leave them, and that family member cannot be touchy on that. Like, well, you don't trust me. You don't. No, this is protocol. It can't happen. Can't happen at all. Like I said before, my own daughters, they don't sit in my lap. They'll sit on my knee when they were young. And that's just as far as it goes. You're not supposed to feel comfortable in any man's lap.
Right.
Not even your own father.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
I had a friend that she's passed on now, but her little girl, this is how she found out her husband was violating the little girl. Little girl, she was only 3 years old. She sat in her daddy's lap and literally sat in his lap, took his penis out in front of mama, didn't even, like it was nothing, just took it out. And
in front of the mother?
In front of the mother. And mother was shocked because little girl acted like it was a natural thing at 3 years
and this
old.
is the father?
The father of this child.
So he'd been doing this before that mother saw it.
That's right.
And he was brazen and just...
Yep. And she did, well, she had just sat on her daddy's lap and then just pulled this thing out. He had shorts on. Just pulled it out and started playing with it like it was nothing. And so that's when the mother realized, oh my gosh, he's messing with my child.
Damn.
So he wound up, he did get in big trouble, wound up going to jail and everything. She divorced him. Yeah. But this was his own daughter. Yeah.
I said, go ahead.
And then also found out that he was messing with the son too. That the son was not his, but the daughter was his.
I feel a lot of times certain men will see that you have young children and act as though they want to be with you to get proximity to those children. They'll take their time, you know, get with you, and they're living with you. They're married now. And now you leave the house, you have to go, you want to go to the store for something, and you know, just stay, watch them. I'll be, you know, the grooming.
Yeah. Grooming.
Yeah. Because I know someone that I used to work with, And he married this woman who worked there also, and the child that she had was 2 years old. So he's not the real father, but he is her father now.
Mhm.
And he spent time with her, did things, he groomed her.
Mhm.
And when she got to a certain age, not even legal age, because he'd been doing stuff, she was pregnant.
Mm.
14, 15 years old, pregnant.
Wow.
And he
Yeah.
was always with her,
Mhm.
did everything for her, and left in the house with her all the time. And
Right.
come to find out it's his.
Wow.
And
Mm.
he left the mother to be with her.
Mm.
He had a good job, good pay. So he okay, whatever. I'm gonna take care of my child. And he's with the daughter.
Wow. Mm.
And something.
Yeah, it is something. Yeah. So, so basically, I feel that you have to protect your children. You have to watch. Don't let them just spend the night over anybody's house either.
Because you don't know
You know,
who is there.
yeah, because friends have uncles and
Mm-hmm.
cousins and
Mm-hmm.
everybody that come to the
Mm-hmm.
house. You don't know whose house they're going to, and you don't know who's there.
Right.
And then next, your child has been violated by those people's family members. And then your own family members.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my mother was the
Mm-hmm.
only one that was my mother and my sister were the
Mm-hmm.
only ones that were able to watch my children, and I knew that there weren't no uncles and cousins and
Right.
stuff that was there to protect my children because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want them to go through the same thing
Same
I
thing.
went through.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so you have to kind of protect your children in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, they do not have mental health issues. But the thing is that you have to understand that if you really did a census on how many people
Mm-hmm.
have been violated, I guarantee you about 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Eight
Yeah.
out of 10 people that have
Yeah.
been violated.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a low ball figure
Mhm.
because what is violation? Okay, we know what it is, but what about just words? What about the ogling of some young woman or some young man that
Mhm.
affects them because they may, I'm not going to say strong or weak, but they may not be able to take something lighter as someone else who, and you're not supposed to take that, but you take a child, let's clear it up, who has an uncle that's always hitting on them and saying things about their body, and never touched them.
Right.
And you take another one whose uncle touched them and had sex with them. That one who had the word spoken to them might have more issues down the line because they couldn't it was over their threshold.
Mhm.
Not that that other child is supposed to take that at all, but it's different levels. I had a request to get an opinion on Ozempic, and that it could be doing more. Just an opinion, it could be doing more damage than good. Um, Mind altering to a point. What do you think about that particular substance? Can you answer that?
Yes, I
Oh,
can
okay, okay,
actually.
okay.
So, I believe personally because Ozempic is designed for people with diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
and people with diabetes that are diabetic, their pancreas normally does not produce insulin naturally.
Right.
Okay. So my concern for it is the long term effects for people that are taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are not diabetic, your pancreas already, pancreas is on the side, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So if your pancreas is already producing insulin the way that it should,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're taking something,
Mm-hmm.
um, like Ozempic, what is it actually doing to your pancreas?
Right.
Okay. And so, one thing I do know that with all the years of dealing with pancreatic issues for my patients, and is that pancreatic cancer, if you get pancreatic cancer, ooh, that's a tough one. That's
Yeah.
one that you just can't come back from. I mean,
Yeah.
we had Steve Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Trebek, Patrick Swayze, all these rich
Yeah.
people that had got pancreatic cancer, and guess what? All the money that they had
Couldn't
could
save them.
not fix them because that pancreas, once you have pancreatic cancer, it's a done deal. So that's what my concern is with all these shots, the weight loss injections, is that what is the long term effect of it? Now, if you are already type 2 diabetic, or type
Hmm.
2, and you know what, go ahead and take it because, okay, you could die from complications of being really, really, really big,
Hmm.
with high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, heart attack, whatever,
Right.
all of the complications that come with being extremely large. Um,
Hmm.
or you can just go ahead and take the injections and then lose the weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you have to give yourself a break in between. So you don't
Hmm.
want to take these shots for like,
Hmm.
15 years,
Hmm.
so you take the shots, go ahead and lose the weight, but then learn how to, of course, eat right, exercise, and
Hmm.
try to stabilize yourself
Yeah.
from
That's the
the
best way.
injections.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that they are great for people that actually have um, already quite a few comorbidities. Um, and what I mean by comorbidities
Hmm.
is, extreme obesity, um, diabetes, high blood pressure, those types of things that, need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that I've had patients that were extremely anorexic skinny. I mean,
Wow.
when I say so they're trying to pinch the little bit of fat that they have, and they're like, "Give me the shot, give it to
Wow.
me," and then you're giving them a shot with this little bit of fat they have,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Why am I giving you this shot when you're a skeleton already?"
That
You
doesn't
know
make
what I
any
mean?
sense. Yeah.
But this is because people have money. Nobody's getting turned down right now about these shots. And so that's what I'm saying. What is the long term effect of these people? So, what's happening also
Hmm.
is that with the shots, people are getting
Hmm.
gallstones to where a lot of people's gallbladders are being removed. Okay,
Complications.
complications. So, I mean, you want to get your gallbladder removed, you want pancreatic issues, so not sure, yeah. But time will tell. Since basically the shots have been basically really big in the last couple of years.
So we're
Because
gonna find out.
prior to the last couple of years of just using it for weight loss, um, it was used just for people with diabetes
Mm.
and low doses. And then they noticed that it was helping them lose weight.
Hmm.
And so now they do higher doses.
Wow. I have two questions for you. Well, one statement that I want you to repeat,
Okay.
and another question also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you told me something that was good information about men and urinating, and and
Oh,
and, and we have to share that. I don't think anybody knows this. You told it; it made a lot of sense. Please share this for the brothers out here with prostrate concerns. That we need to hear that. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it on another show.
okay. So basically, years ago, I met a man that was in his 80s. He was a retired urologist. And he told me, he says, "Do you have a man?" I said, "No, I don't." He says, "But if you do have a man,
Mhm.
you make sure that he sits down and he urinates. He sits down to pee every time he urinates." He says, "Society has taught men how to pee improperly. Men
Mhm.
stand up, they pee standing up. And what happens when you stand up to pee is that you are not naturally passing gas, so it doesn't relax your prostate gland.
Right.
Now, with the patients that I have now, the patients that I have now, I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Prostate issues are not discriminative. It is every single race that I seen
Mm-hmm.
to where they're getting prostate embolizations, prostate cancer, all kinds of prostate issues. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it is important for a man to sit down and pee. And I know men are like, oh no, I need to be a man. I don't want to sit down and be like no girl. You
Let
know,
me tell you
it's
something. I'm
not
going out there
me.
and I'm gonna squat and pee. That's right. They call me a girl. That's right. I know I'm a man. I'm squatting every chance I get.
Exactly. So sit down, pee, let it dangle in the toilet, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
pass that gas. Relax that prostate gland because it's being strained. You've been straining it from day one
One.
because from day one, as a baby, you were taught to stand up and
Pee.
pee.
Yeah.
And there are some religions, some cultures where the men actually get down, they actually squat
Mm-hmm.
and they pee like that. Or sometimes they do, it's almost like a kneeling position
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and to sit down and kneel
Mm-hmm.
and pee rather than stand up. But you have to relax that prostate gland so that way it's not strained.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you notice yourself getting up in the middle of the night to urinate multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
chances are 9 times out of 10, your prostate is already damaged
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you've been doing it for so long. And, and a lot of times you will need to get a prostate embolization. Like I said, no matter what race you are, because you've been taught improperly.
Thank you so much for that. I couldn't have said it. I wouldn't have had the credibility if I said to say, "Oh, you're a quack." But for you to say that, and it hit me, it hit me
Mhm.
so hard. It's things like that that make a difference. The other one is how they push now for men. I have a lot of friends who are on it, the TRT or hormone replacement therapy. I don't, I don't believe in it. What happens when you get in your 80s, your 90s? Like, what do you think this is going to keep you going? And some men, if they look after their health and do the right thing, and I think there's a naturally occurring way that your testosterone goes down, 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 and it's supposed to be that way. Um, Maybe you can prevent certain things by taking extra testosterone where it was low or lower because of dietary stuff or environmental stuff. Where would you stand on that? Give an opinion on that.
Opinion on it.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I have opinion on everything. I'm just
Well, listen, that's why I'm asking you because you do, and you know a lot. You know a lot. You know a lot. You know a lot.
Okay. Well, okay. So you have to understand, as we get older,
Mm-hmm.
men and women. Okay. So women, once we pass, we get in our 30s and 40s, we start getting this whole beard and mustache, and then I'm sitting here looking more hairier than you are.
I just shaved, so.
so, so women, of course, our testosterone levels tend to go up. Our estrogen levels tend to go down
Mm-hmm.
as we get older. But then for men, it seems to be opposite. So then your estrogen levels seem to go up,
Mm-hmm.
and then your testosterone levels tend to go
Go down.
down. And so it's almost like we're reversing. We're doing the backwards thing,
Right.
So we become more masculine, you guys become more feminine, So I believe that certain cultures, certain ways we eat make a difference as well. Okay.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I've literally had a friend that his father was 94 years old and still got his younger wife pregnant
Wow.
at 94 years
Wow.
old, but he was African.
Oh, that's the difference.
That's the
The
difference.
minerals in the ground and the food and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was African, so he was still able to impregnate someone at 94 years old. Okay, so things are working
Hmm.
just right.
Just right. That's right.
Okay. So I'm not sure, I will say, because I'm not a scientist, I'm not a physician.
Hmm.
All I can go based on is the last 30 years of my medical experiences
Hmm.
and being around and watching things. But what I will say
Hmm.
is that um, sometimes I think because in the United States,
Yes.
the diet is different,
Hmm.
much more different than other countries. And maybe that's why the testosterone levels tend to decrease in men, estrogen tends to go up. And then for women, like I said, it goes opposite.
Hmm.
Me personally, I think once I started getting these hot flashes and things started happening to where
Hmm.
I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling this change, like my
Hmm.
estrogen and all this stuff.
Right.
Well, look into NAD, NAD,
NAD.
NAD.
Hmm.
It's a supplement. Getting hot flashes at one time. Those hot flashes have now stopped,
Hmm.
which is wonderful. But I believe NAD has something to do with it. So you can always go to Amazon, get it on, and get NAD on Amazon. It's great for your body.
Hmm.
So as a woman, okay.
Right.
I've been taking the NAD now for maybe the last 3 months. I haven't
Hmm.
had any hot flashes at all.
Hmm.
So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my levels checked,
Right. Hmm.
and see where I'm at,
Right. Right.
because all that, the hot flashes, cold flashes, all the everything that we tend to go through as women
Hmm.
when we're going through the change
Hmm.
has ceased. So
Right.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Okay. But for men, I believe that you, and I really don't know if NAD will help you at
Right.
all as far as your testosterone levels, but you still need to
Hmm.
get your testosterone levels checked. It is
Hmm.
important that you get your prostate checked. Now, the other thing I will tell you
Hmm.
is that if your physician mentions that you need a prostate biopsy,
Hmm.
do not, and I repeat, do not let them do it in a doctor's office without sedation. You
Painful.
need to have oh, you need to have
But
sedation
who would want to do it without it? I mean, they would actually try to do
because
it.
they try to convince you, oh, we'll just do it local. We'll just do it local. Just numb it with some lidocaine. Okay, no.
Oh my God.
Okay, give me something to be sedated. Okay, I don't care if it's Versed, fentanyl, whatever the case is. I need to be in moderate sedation, la la land somehow, because I am not getting this done without some type of sedation.
Mm-mm. I might get
Okay,
violent with that kind of pain. I'm
exactly,
not going to sit there and take that kind of pain.
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Give me something.
Hmm.
Oh man. The other thing, you shared so much information with me. The migraine headaches. I know there's somebody out there suffering from the migraine headaches. You told me about these two substances that would reverse or eliminate, and you have a testimony with that.
Oh yeah, I was getting terrible migraines, and the migraines, when I realized that I wasn't having a brain aneurysm or anything going on in my brain, and it was just migraines because the neurologist was able to tell that my migraines were right here on this side of my head. Um, So I started looking into natural migraine remedies,
Mm-hmm.
which has been the best thing ever. I have not had a migraine since February. It is now October. So basically, what I do is I take something called butter burr,
Mm-hmm.
Buttbur, um, Butter, Butterbut,
Okay, right, right.
butter burr.
We got the butter
Okay,
part, but the bird part is what? The bird part is
you are
BUR. So it's butter, like regular butter,
butter
and
burr.
burr,
It's
BUR,
all one word,
butter burr.
and then also fever few. Okay, fever few. So it's FEVER and then few, FEW. Now, those two together, those are natural supplements that help tremendously. Yes, they help tremendously. So basically, what I do, um, one is like a natural vasodilator too, so it kind of helps with circulation and everything too, and that's
Mm-hmm.
probably why I don't have any headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you take this. I take one in the morning, one in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the one that actually is like a vasodilator. Um, which is the fever few,
Mm-hmm.
I take at night, and then the butter burr I take in the morning, and headaches are gone,
Wow.
gone, gone, gone. So,
Wow.
when my headaches were really bad, they were giving me Topamax,
Mm-hmm.
and I was taking this Topamax, and I'm telling you, I felt like I was paralyzed. This on the right side of my body.
Side
I mean,
effects.
I'm laying in the bed and my foot is tingling and I'm
Right.
numb and everything. But basically, once I got off that Topamax
Mm-hmm.
and started taking these two products, then that helped way more than prescription medication could.
Wow. 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 It's valuable information. I know somebody's going to find it something of a life changing thing. And I know you're getting sleepy. And I'd go on for hours and pick your brain, but we'll be back again with this. And if there's anything more you want to say or any other topic you want to touch on under the umbrella of dysfunction, which we started out that way. But like I said, we'll start out that way and we'll continue on and zigzag here and there. You know how we do. So on the wrap up, I won't attach you too much. Maybe we'll get another one in soon. But on the wrap up, what do you have to say to the folks, the family here who are listening and hanging on to every word? Because it's a lot of knowledge that you shared, a lot of comical stuff from the dating part of it too.
Well, I mean, the dating part is always a mystery. I mean, from what I understand, especially being in Africa at this moment,
Yep.
is that dating is a worldwide issue. It is not a U.S. issue. It is a worldwide problem to where everyone has a problem with dating. So I'm not really sure what the magic key would be with dating. So because I have spoken to numerous Africans since I've been here.
Yes.
I have traveled.
Yes,
I've gone
indeed.
through Johannesburg. I've gone to Tanzania, and now Ghana. And when I talk to these individuals, everyone says the same exact thing about dating,
Mm-hmm.
that it's terrible. Okay. One thing I can respect about African men, though,
Mm-hmm.
African men, they're like, I can't afford to have a girl. I'm not going to start dating. That is like the most wise
Yeah.
information I've ever heard come out of
Mm-hmm.
men's mouths. Do not date if you're broke. It's wonderful. So I really, really enjoy talking to these African men
Right.
and realizing their thought process.
That's true.
Like, I can't have one woman if I can't afford to make her happy.
Right. Right.
I'm like, wow. If I liked African men, trust me, I'd be right there. But anyway, so as far as the dating aspects, that's my thought process on that. But then, as far as the health information, um, you have to understand that your health is all in your hands. It's in your hands. And you have to look into natural things, because the unfortunate part is doctors and big pharma, they want you to buy all the imitation medications
Compound the
you can,
sickness.
exactly, that you can possibly take. It's all the big business. I'm not saying that to get off everything, because there is a silent killer. Sometimes you need blood pressure medications, and don't sit there and try to say, "Oh, I'm just going to drink garlic." You know, so yeah. So I mean, I
I know
think
people like that. I know people like that.
Yeah.
Alcoholic, and after a 2-week drinking spree, they take a handful of vitamins to feel healthy.
Exactly. So that's just not going to do it. So I think that you should to definitely take matters into your own hands, and definitely do not avoid taking blood pressure medication unless you have found the holy grail of natural remedies, which I don't know what that is at this time.
Right.
Okay.
I understand.
And take care of yourself, but you can fix certain things. You can take care of that prostate. You can
Squat when you pee,
do
men.
breast check. Oh, I mean, we could maybe at another topic we can talk about breast checks and mammograms. Okay. Because that's a topic.
Yeah.
I could talk for a long time
Do we
about.
need to do something just on that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we are being deceived when it comes to that as well. Okay. So there are certain things that we can do as women to change those things. So we'll talk about that at another time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I know folks are going to be looking out for that one. That's very important. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to wrap this down. And I know everybody is like, oh, no, we want more. There's more coming. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And we will be back for sure. I mean, Mike, every time you speak, wisdom comes out. When you sneeze, I smell wisdom. I'm serious.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I enjoyed everyone. Take care.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So we're going to wrap this down. I'm trying not to get the screen, but okay. Yes, I know. Time to wrap it down. Take care, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I missed the last 2 days because we had some electrical issues and I don't want a chance having the show cut off while work was being done. We have more work to be done. So tomorrow.